Hey guys, today we're going to go on to our next segment of the Niche Gold Making A to Z series, and that is the letter C. And C stands for cooking. Cooking. It is wonderful. I recently heard another gold maker say that they vendored cooking materials. It hurt my soul. We need to talk about how powerful cooking is in Legion. So obviously the gating of cooking involves the most obnoxious NPC in the entire game. You know him, you love him, you trained him for years to become a great chef, and he is a worse chef than when you first started training him, implying that you are a terrible teacher. All the same, Nomi is how we get our cooking materials. So let's see if he's got anything for me today. No recipe, surprise, surprise. So, for those who haven't done anything with cooking, once you've done a quest to learn 6 Legion recipes, you start doing work orders with Nomi here. You give him 5 of a cooking ingredient. He will give you 4 back and usually some burned food, and he might give you a recipe. And so by doing this, you learn new recipes and you rank up those recipes. And so the more you do this, the more profit you're going to make because you're going to have the higher ranked recipes and thus get more for your mats. Now, before we go into what to research, if you will, we're going to call it research because I'm still not super good with calling them work orders because I didn't play in Warlords of Draenor. Either way, before we get that, let's talk about an add-on. It's called Nomi Cakes, and I highly recommend it because it does this. It shows you how many recipes you have left to learn from something, what recipes you will learn from it, and basically how many, this 17 says that I have 17 work orders for that going on right now, because I just have, as you can see, I have so many big gamey ribs, because I got them on a rib sale, I guess. They were really cheap one day, so I bought a ton. Anyhow, so this way you can make sure that you're going for if you want a particular recipe, you can choose not only one that you know will give you that recipe, but also the one that's cheapest to give that recipe. So like, for example, look at this, a Shari salad, I still need rank 2 and 3. Lean shanks are very cheap. While, let's see here, while Runescale Koi, not so cheap. So it would be better for me to research it through Lean Shank than from Runescale Koi, that sort of a thing. So it allows you to make the smartest choices when it comes to researching your recipes so nothing gets wasted. And so we're going to start up some new ones. So that's how you research your stuff, and you really, really should. Like, be learning them even if you don't intend to sell anything. But you really should sell some stuff. Let's talk about what you should sell. Let's see here, cooking. Now I have rank 1 to 3 of everything. I think I only have 3 for seed battered fish plate, which is nice because it's my raid food. But basically I have everything, just not the top rank of everything. So essentially Legion cooking involves these like snacks, which are just basic things. You make them with just fish or just meat, that kind of thing. They're cheap and worthless. As you can see, not selling very high. The only reason Crispy Bacon sells high is because, of course, there's the achievement. I mean, honestly, the buff duration is kind of strange. And then the omelets, because it's new and not many people have it. But it doesn't actually sell that quickly. I've made them both. They don't sell very quickly at all. I recommend against it. Light meals, slightly more buffed. They typically require a little bit more. These are vendor items, the sea salt and the jalapeno peppers, things like that. So they take meat and some sort of vendor item. Spiced rib roast is an interesting one. If you ever see this, notice how these are all selling at a loss, but this one's got a gain. There's actually, in Karazhan, Morose will drop a pocket watch every once in a while. I got it on my 3rd run, I think, and it allows you to do an order hall mission in order to get him as an order hall follower. And in order to do that, you have to provide a spiced rib roast for his dinner. So that is why that's seeing a little bit more demand, even though it's not a very useful food. So that's an interesting little factoid there about cooking. Anyhow, from a raid perspective, these aren't that valuable, and that's reflected in the prices. Large meals, kind of getting up there a little bit more. This is because they're used in the feasts, and there's some decent food without being super expensive. However, I still don't recommend making these to sell, only to use in other things, and that is delicacies. Delicacies is where we want to be as far as cooking is concerned, because this is your top-end raid food. Typically, people who care enough to want food want the best food, so they'll buy this. If you care enough, like if you don't care about paying these prices, like if you don't care enough to buy these food, you probably don't care enough to buy food at all. You know what I mean? And so typically it's these delicacy level things that are going to sell the best. And now look at, let's see, your seed battered fish plate I have rank 3 of. So it's going to take 1 koi scented storm ray, 5 silver mackerel, some 20 of the seeds, and then some vendor items. But I'm going to make 10 of those a pop. So it actually adds up really fast. And as you can see, it sells very well. I actually sold out of all of this while I'm at work, which is why I was excited to do this video today. So let's go ahead and make some stuff. Now I have TSM groups set up for this, but I find it a little bit wonky as far as the fact that like I craft 7 of some things and 10 of other things because of rank differences. So I actually will usually do this manually, especially since there's not that many of these items. So I just mouse over it, I see that I don't have any, and I'll make 5 for every craft. So we're going to queue up, try and queue up 4 of these, 4 Ashari salads. Fish roll special, I don't typically find it sells very well, and you can actually see that reflected in the price. It's just not a popular food. I don't think it's best for anyone. So just go ahead and skip over that unless you got a lot of mats laying around. Nightborn delicacy platter typically is a little bit of a low competition one because the gem chips and starlight rose aren't something a lot of people like to put into cooking of all things. Let's see here. I like to do increments of 5, and since I craft 7, then we're going to craft 35 of them total. Seed battered fish plate, we're going to craft, let's get 40 of these total, so we'll craft 4 of those, and then the Hungry Magister, same deal with increments of 5, so we'll craft 35 of those. So those are all of our delicacies. Now let's take a look at feasts. Now feasts kind of suffer from that same thing as what I mentioned with the lower quality foods. People who care about food want these delicacies, and they don't really want these feasts. So I still have them up there because a lot of us still have it ingrained that we should bring feasts to raid. And I do actually get some sales on them quite a bit, and as you can see, they are profitable, but they're fairly mat intense for something that makes only 1. You never make like 10 of these. And so I only make a few and have them up on the auction house. I don't really craft a lot of them unless I have a lot of mats lying around, which I do have a lot of mats lying around. Let's be honest. That's why I have quite a few of them. But right now we're just going to craft delicacies. So I've got all these queued up. So we're going to use TSM to gather for us because I've got a lot of stuff in my bank. Now, if it's in your reagent bank, you can craft out of your bank. But if it's in my advanced refrigeration unit, which is made by engineers, by the way, takes Yard's peculiar energy source, so good luck getting one now. I made my own because they are not often on the auction house. People would rather make sky golems. All the same, I've got a nice cooking bag there that I can't craft out of, so we're going to gather items from it using TSM. And then we'll see what we're still missing. We are missing 10 high mountain salmon and some fatty bear steaks. So I am going to, we'll take a look at those on the auction house on Fade. Interestingly enough, I don't know why, but because I like to keep a closer eye on the cooking side of things, probably because I have to do this manually in the queuing of TSM, I do all of this on Fade. I don't use a bank tune for this, so it kind of isolates the gold income, which, by the way, hey, let's take a look at that. Since I'm trying to prove to you guys that cooking's good, let's consider cooking. Let's see here. Summary of cooking. So my gold earned from cooking in the last month is 90,000 gold. Last week is 21,000 gold. So I like cooking. Cooking's great. Highly recommend, as you can see from this video. So let's keep on cooking. We need some high mountain salmon. And what else did we need? Fatty bear steak. Little bit expensive, but not terribly so. 642 gold for high mountain salmon. And then I don't want to go over to my other character just to get bear steak. So we need to buy 22 of these, especially because they're so cheap usually. So it's 80 gold for 43 of those. All right. Let's get our cooking hat on so we can cook nice and fast. And let's set out a cooking fire because it's got a new model. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's updated to show how awesome Legion cooking is. Now there's actually a cooking pan on it. So now let's cook up a storm. Seed battered fish plates. Ashari salads. I like fish plates because I actually have a chance of getting skill ups too. So close to 800. And our Hungry Magisters. Wonderful. Now, for our sea battered fish plates, we're going to put them up in stacks of 5 for 150 gold per piece, so 750 gold per stack of 5. Nightborn Delicacy Platter, we'll be getting 77 gold a pop. A Shari Salad is actually usually a pretty high selling one because of the herbs. A lot of people don't feel that they're worth it. So I really like doing those salads. I believe that's the one that takes the salads, and then that takes the herbs, and Magister takes the gem chips. I don't really keep a very good track of that because I just let TSM do the math for me. But all the same, there we go. It only took us a few seconds. And admittedly, okay, so we're going to subtract 10,000 from the number I'm about to put because I've got a few emerald eyes and frosted tubes. Yeah, we'll subtract 10,500 from whatever I'm about to tell you, which is auctioning. I'm trying to remember. Don't mind me. I'm bad at TSM. I'm not actually bad at TSM, just sort of. There we go. So if we subtract 10,500, then I just posted 26,000 gold worth of auctions from cooking. That will probably, other than the feasts, which will sell a little bit more slowly. I know I didn't make them in this this video, but I already had some up. They will probably sell pretty slowly. There's a good chance those will expire. Everything else will sell within 1 to 2 reposts. And as you can see, it was fairly effortless. So be sure that you're doing your Nomi work order research stuff and cook up what you can and sell it on the auction house, because cooking is very strong. When I heard that someone had been, and a gold maker at that, had been vendoring meat, I was so sad. So don't do that. Make some sweet, sweet gold. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is another video in my series of a video every day going over niche gold making from A to Z. And grats to my guildie who got a legendary that he is not happy about. I hope you guys are subscribed for future videos. Have a great day.